Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Tuesday, November 27th at about 7 p.m. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation seems to be heating up. But at this point, outside of Mueller's team, I doubt anybody really knows what's happening and what the consequences will be. What we do know is that Mueller has accused former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort of violating his plea agreement by repeatedly lying to federal investigators. We don't know what Manafort lied about. We do know that it's a blow to Mueller's investigation because it effectively makes Manafort's testimony worthless. It also seems to show that Manafort is gambling that Trump will pardon him because the collapse of the plea deal would likely mean he'd live the rest of his life behind bars. We also know that Russians hacked the email accounts of senior Democrats and released communications that were damaging to Hillary Clinton's campaign through WikiLeaks back in 2016. What we don't know is whether there was any connection to the Trump campaign. Now, right-wing conspiracy theorist Jerome Corsi says he rejected a plea agreement offered by Mueller and described Mueller's team as thugs. Emails released today show Trump ally Roger Stone asked Corsi to connect with WikiLeaks. Corsi says he denied the request, but Mueller's team believes he did follow through and told Stone that information damaging to Hillary would be forthcoming. Stone dismissed it all today, saying he was just curious about what WikiLeaks had, quote, like every Politico and political reporter in America. He has not been charged with a crime for seeking the stolen communications. Got all that? I'm not sure I do, and I'm not done yet. Also today, The Guardian reported that Manafort held secret talks with WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange at Ecuador's embassy in London, where Assange has been holed up for years after getting asylum there. The Manafort and Assange camps vehemently denied any contact. Trump stayed in attack mode, saying Mueller is, quote, a conflicted prosecutor gone rogue and that his witch hunt is ruining the lives of people who refuse to lie. Bottom line, the waters remain very murky. I suspect interest in this isn't really all that high outside the Beltway, and that most people would just as soon wait to see what Mueller actually has. Ukraine's president is warning that there is a real danger of full-scale war with Russia after Russian warships fired on 3 Ukrainian ships on Sunday. The Russians seized the ships and imprisoned the Ukrainians. I have been a skeptic about the conspiracy theories about Trump being soft on Russia, but I'm beginning to wonder after his reaction to this Russian aggression. While Nikki Haley powerfully condemned Russia at the UN Security Council, calling its actions an outrageous violation, her boss of the White House seems reluctant to blame Russia at all. His response, not good, not happy about it at all. We do not like what's happening either way. Either way? What either way? Russia invaded and took over Crimea, which was part of Ukraine in 2014. That year, Russia made several other incursions into Ukrainian territory and has since actively supported separatist forces in eastern Ukraine in a war that has killed more than 10,000, including at least 3,000 civilians. Among them, the 298 people on board Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 that was shot down by a Russian-made missile fired from territory held by pro-Russian separatists. And now the warships. Either way? Come on. Polls are closing in Mississippi in the hotly contested and controversial Senate runoff election. The incumbent Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith is likely to hold her seat in the very conservative state, but prior comments and actions she's made about the Confederacy have made it for a race that is close enough that Trump had to go to Mississippi on Monday to campaign for her. Cyber Monday was a blowout success, with sales increasing by 20% to almost $8 billion. Not so good is that home price gains shrunk to the lowest level in almost 2 years, an indication that higher interest rates are taking their toll. On that front, Trump attacked Fed Chair Jerome Powell for raising rates, blaming him for the recent stock market sell-off as well as plant closures and layoffs at General Motors. The major U.S. stock indexes all ended up after Trump's top economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, sparked some hope of a trade truce with China. In our alternate universes segment, the great divide between conservative and liberal media, we're seeing some truly dishonest reporting on migrants from both sides. The right, picking up on Trump's rhetoric, is portraying the migrants' attempts to reach the U.S. as an invasion, focusing on the small number of criminals among them and generally portraying them as a threat. On the left, the focus is on the minority of the migrants who are women and children and on attacking the use of tear gas against the hundreds of migrants who tried to swarm the border over the weekend. They conveniently diminish the fact that the Obama administration used tear gas as well and highlight the picture of a mother and 2 kids running from the gas, despite the fact that those who tried to storm across the border were overwhelmingly men. If there is ever to be comprehensive immigration reform in this country, both sides need to be honest and stop pushing their alternative facts. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock, 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoratTV. I'll see you again tomorrow.